What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Punting for the People. For those of you who are new, my name is Jacob. I am an Australian and I'm living in Germany on the other side of the world in Hildesheim. I play professional football, I make YouTube videos, and at the moment, while football is not happening, I'm trying to keep myself entertained by keeping you guys entertained. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing and joining the Punting for the People community. If you have been here before, thank you so much for tuning in again. It is always great to have an audience that is interested in my videos and what I have to say. Today's video is titled The Hardest Thing in Germany, and this is a video that is about the hardest thing for me. This may not be in line with you or your thoughts, but for me, this is something I've had to think about, and this is a video that I really wanted to make. You guys are seeing this on July 3rd, which is a Friday, but on Wednesday, when some of this footage was shot, it was my brother's 29th birthday. My family lives in Brisbane in Australia. I am the youngest of 4 kids. I have 2 older brothers. There's Ashley and Ben, and I have an older sister named Katie. I also have 2 stepbrothers, Hayden and Tristan, and I also have a half brother. I have a big family. My direct family, in terms of my siblings and my mum, we all live within about 5 minutes of each other. And on Wednesday, it was my brother's 29th birthday. And as I've been living in Germany on and off for around 3 to 4 years, and my brother's birthday being in July, which is generally the middle of the season here, we went through the normal part of any birthday or any big celebration, and that was obviously everyone getting together for food. Normally it'd be a lunch or a dinner, and me Skyping in to kind of be a part of the whole celebration. On top of my siblings, my stepbrothers, and my half-brother, I also have nieces and nephews. Right now, I have my older brother, Ben, has 2 children, so 1 niece and 1 nephew. My sister Katie has 1 child, a daughter, and then my brother Ashley has 2 kids, and my sister Katie is also expecting. She'll be having another baby in August. So right now there are a lot of young kids around, I think between the ages of 6 and nearly newborn. So there's a lot of little kids, a lot of little Templars running around, and of course they were there for the celebration as well. And really the only person that isn't there or hasn't been there consistently for the last couple of years is of course me, because I'm living on the other side of the world. I have came home twice in that span, obviously for the off season. The first year was in 2017-2018, and then 2018-2019 I also went home for a couple of months, but then obviously last year I stayed here. So it's been since April 2019 was the last time I was in Australia with my family. And this brings me to my point of the video. The hardest thing in Germany for me is the fact that I consider myself an introvert. I am an extroverted introvert, if that makes sense. Normally introverts don't put themselves out online or in a social media kind of presence. I do that because it's comfortable for me to sit here and talk to a camera. What isn't comfortable for me is to go out and socialize. I have social anxiety. I've talked about this before. I have problems in large crowds. I have problems really just interacting in general in person. I get kind of awkward and anxious. It's a difficult thing being here in Germany, not really having that much of a social life outside of football and of course Marianne, and being that far and that, I guess, disconnected from my family, who of which I am normally so close with. And when I mean close, I don't just mean living close together. I mean, we normally, like, my brothers work together. My mum looks after obviously my nieces and nephews when she can, but generally like in the afternoons, on the weekends, at least 1 to 2 times a week there is something going on where we are together and doing an activity, and then other times it might just be we're going over to say hi, they're coming over and visiting. So there is a lot of communication and meetings between my family when everyone is in that same area. And obviously with them having their kids and their careers and me being over here and playing football, the time difference, all that kind of thing is difficult, but we still do stay in contact. That's not the hardest part of being here. We have contact, we have technology like phones, like Facebook, like Instagram. We can always see what each other is doing. But the hardest thing about being in Germany for me, and I kind of felt it on Wednesday more than I have recently, and that is kind of missing the big exciting family gatherings, or missing the big events that are happening in everyday life that you kind of take for granted when you are there and experiencing them. You know, for example, sensitive subject, a couple weeks after I arrived in Dresden back in 2017, my first time really being out of the country on my own, I had an uncle pass away, and that was like one of the first times I hadn't really dealt with family members passing away before. I was on the other side of the world. This kind of came as not really a shock. We knew it was kind of coming, but it was something that I'd never had to deal with myself, let alone on my own. I also have missed weddings. I also missed births. I think I've missed about 3 births. I've missed many birthdays, as most of my family's birthdays fall between the months of April and July. It's only really 2 of my family that have birthdays after I'm meant to get home from Germany, but obviously being that I was here all year last year, I missed those as well. And that's something that is really hard to experience through a camera. On Wednesday when I Skyped in for the birthday, it was incredible to see how big my nieces and nephews have gotten, and there's like one of them is now walking, the youngest of them all is now walking, the one that was barely walking when I left is now talking, and then then my other niece that was kind of in that early development stage is now basically like a little girl, and that's stuff that I haven't got to see or experience because I haven't been there and been in the moments when they're happening. Obviously, I'm doing what I'm doing over here for my gain. I'm wanting to prove that I can be a professional athlete over here in Germany and that I can make something of myself over here. But what I'm doing over here doesn't really have any direct benefit to my family members. So it's kind of hard. I'm kind of putting myself ahead of my family, pulling myself out of these special situations and these special occasions, and also kind of robbing my nieces and nephews of time they could get to know me. And it's also hard as well because when you Skype in and you see your nieces and nephews, you want them to be comfortable with you, but because I haven't been there, I'm kind of a stranger, so they get a little shy, and the interaction I get with my nieces and nephews isn't really the same as what it would be if I was there all the time. And like I said, this is difficult. This is a hard thing. Heaps of people deal with it every single day. There are people that are studying out of state. There are people that are studying out of the country. There are people like me who are living overseas, whether it be for work or for sport or just for an experience of wanting to be abroad. And I think the reason this kind of hit me the most on Wednesday when I Skyped back home, because normally this time of the year, we are in the middle of football season. We are probably going into summer break. We've already had half our games for the year. The playoff race is kind of starting to shape up, and we're about to go and kind of relax and have a vacation. Last year I went to Austria and Croatia. Right now, with the whole situation that's going on with borders being shut and not being able to travel in and out of certain countries and certain things being closed in terms of tourism, and really not being able to train for a long period of time, it's made it very difficult because you're sitting there with your mind on nothing other than this blank situation with no idea what's going to happen in the future, what's going to go on next week, the week after. Things can change every single day. There's this stuff happening back at home that I could be experiencing. So I think the reason it kind of hit me the hardest on Wednesday was the fact that it feels like I'm kind of stagnant here at the moment with no football going on. Obviously, I love making videos, but with no football, the fact that I have also lost employment, that kind of situation is very difficult right now. It kind of made it a little bit more sucky, the fact that, you know, here I am through a phone screen trying to communicate with my 2-year-old niece, and she's too shy to kind of even face the camera because she doesn't really know who I am. But guys, I obviously am a super positive person. I am thankful for the opportunities that I'm given here in Germany to obviously make this YouTube channel, to play the sport that I love as a profession, and also the fact that I'm not here on my own. I obviously have Marianne. I think if I was here on my own and Marianne wasn't here with me, it would be a lot more difficult because I wouldn't have that person that I can bounce off and that person that I can go and see and explore and kind of live a life with here. But like I said, guys, mostly my videos are about Germany and how great it is. I don't really focus on the negatives or the downsides of being here because I think it is such a great place. The ability you have to explore and see new things here is endless. But obviously I want to share my story and be as honest as possible, and this is one of the things that happens every now and again. You get a little bit homesick, you get a little bit down at the fact that you're not there. Even though you're in this lovely, beautiful place, there's obviously that thought of, oh man, like I wish I could be in 2 places at once. Also, I did want to answer the question because it is a question I get quite a lot. A lot of people sit there and say, you know, don't you miss home? Or people back home are kind of like, you know, don't you want to come back? Or kind of sit there and go, yeah, you know, I miss home, but I love Germany, I love being here, Marianne's here, and obviously I wouldn't be able to play football in the same, I guess, level as I can here as I would back home. So it kind of, my response in the conversation always kind of goes in that same direction. So I think me sitting here and kind of monologuing to you guys about my feelings and how I feel about the situation and how difficult it sometimes can be, is a good idea to change up the dialogue around this subject. So yes, I miss my family, as most of the imports that are out here probably do, and it is probably one of the hardest parts about being in Germany, but it is something that I have to live with. I chose to be here, I want to play football here, and I want to show Germany to you guys through my channel, and there are always going to be sacrifices either way that you look at it, whether I'm in Australia or whether I am here. But other than that, guys, I didn't want this to kind of be a bit of a downer video, but it kind of is a little bit more of a negative subject, but I don't really look at it as a negative. I want you guys to know me on more of a personal basis, more than just my videos talking about, you know, certain things that I'm doing in Germany and the activities that I'm doing. I want to kind of talk from the heart and let you guys know that this is me and this is what I am like. So with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video explaining the hardest thing in Germany, for me at least. I hope you took a little thing out of it, whether it be the fact that you didn't know a lot about my background. Maybe you thought to yourself, I wonder if he does miss his family. Yes, of course. But guys, I hope you enjoyed hearing about the hardest thing in Germany, for me at least. If you did, please feel free to leave a thumbs up. Drop a comment as well if you have any more questions, and of course, any other recommendations. If you still aren't subscribed, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this is a little bit of a different insight into the way my brain works. It's a weird thing in between my ears, I know. But I kind of wanted to make a video kind of on a different subject and not just talking about Germany. I kind of want this channel to, yes, be about Germany because I'm here, but really it is a channel about me. It's a channel about Jacob, or Punting for the People. So I wanted to kind of do a video that was more focusing on me and the way I was feeling and the way I think. But guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I will say thank you. My name is Jacob and this is Punting for the People. I'll see you guys in the next video.